Hey guys, it's Cooper here, and welcome back to another pickup video. This one's going to be pretty big. So to start off here, I have taken a couple clips showing you guys the plushes and the figures and stuff like that. So I'm going to insert those right here. So here are the plushes that I picked up. Most of these came from the Nintendo store. The two big pillows, the two Animal Crossing plushes, and the Lakitu and Waluigi are from the Nintendo store. All the other ones here came from Goodwill and the Goodwill outlet. And then over here I have all of the toys and figures and little cards and everything. This art cell came from a Craigslist deal. I'm not going to go through every single tiny thing, but these all came from various locations. That right there is a Nintendo 64 little headset thing that I found at the outlet. Some Mega Man figures and looks like some Loot Crate items. Some Pokemon dog tags. There's the new Fire Emblem amiibo. And then just a bunch of little Pokemon and Mario figures here. And these are the strategy guides that I picked up. The one on the bottom there is a Pokemon book of like original 1999 postcards, which is kind of cool. Some Nintendo Power magazines up here. Nothing super special, but all good stuff. A couple of these came from the garage sales, and most of them came from the Goodwill outlet, so I paid 25 cents each. And then in addition to those, I also have this little promotional wall cling for Wonderful 101 for the Wii U. I got this from a Walmart, and it just like sticks to the glass for their little display cases there, so I got that for free. And then I have a couple other figures here. I have this Link figure here that my girlfriend actually found at a garage sale, and she only paid a couple bucks for it, which is very cool. I have some Mega Man figures here. So I have Mega Man here. This is the Retro Roto series. These are all sealed, of course. And then this one is Man, basically the electric guy. And then this is Shadow Man. And then we have Proto Man. So on the back here, I'm missing Gust Man. And then there's two others that just say coming soon. So I don't know if those were released or not, but I did get those four there, which was pretty cool. And then I have three Final Fantasy VIII figures. So the first one here is the Guardian Force Siren, and I believe there's two different versions of this one, but this is like the clear green one, which is pretty cool. Packaging on these is a little damaged. This one is item number 44 from the Monster Collection. So I don't know this guy's name, but there he is. And there's a bunch of figures in this series. It also shows some for Front Mission 3 on the back, which I do not have. And the last one here is item number 1 from Guardian Force Ifrite, I think is how it's pronounced. But there's that one, also very cool. And then I have a board game here. This is the Donkey Kong board game. It's not fully complete. It is missing some pieces, but I got this thrown in on a Craigslist deal for free, so even though it's missing some stuff, to get it for free, I can't really complain. From the Nintendo store, I picked up the red and blue Joy-Con straps for the Nintendo Switch, and then I also have a Wii Speak, and this is actually a factory sealed one that I found at a Goodwill, I believe. There is a little hole in the box right there. Other than that, it's not in horrible shape, and it is sealed. And then I have a couple PS1 accessories here. These are not sealed, but they are like complete in the packaging, which is kind of weird because of the style of packaging. But I have a memory card here, and the cardboard just slides right out, so it's definitely not sealed. And the memory card that came in this, the bottom half was really yellowed, so I took that one out and put in a nice looking one. So there's that. And then I also have a DualShock PlayStation 1 controller. This one also isn't sealed. The tape on the bottom is, it's not on there anymore. And the back of it is kind of beat up. I do believe that the controller inside was never used, because it's wrapped up in there like it's still brand new, and it's in mint condition. I think it's just the packaging that got damaged, but I wouldn't really call this sealed, more just complete. But I actually found this at the Goodwill outlet, so this cost me like $1, which is pretty cool. I have a boxed red N64 controller, which I didn't have yet, so I was glad to get this. I bought this off of eBay, and it has everything except for the twist ties and the baggie, so it's got the little cardboard insert and everything. And I believe after shipping it was $34, $34 $35, which is a pretty good price. The box is in pretty good shape, so I'm very happy with that one. This is Hottest Party for the Wii. This is the first Hottest Party. And I already had the game, but I didn't have the dance pad in the original box like this. So I got this at Goodwill for like $8, and I put my copy of the game inside, so it is now fully complete. And now I have, I believe, 1, 2, and 3 all in the big boxes like that, which is very cool. Another one that I actually just picked up today from a Goodwill for $9.99 is this Dance Dance Revolution Supernova bundle for the PS2. And this one is actually factory sealed. And for $10, I thought that was a pretty good price. I already have this one in the big box, but I didn't have it sealed, so now I've got this one to add to the collection. Another sealed game that I've never heard of or seen before is Pump It Up Exceed for the original Xbox. And this comes with its own dance mat. And this one is actually also factory sealed and also came from a Goodwill for $15, which I thought was pretty good. It's hard to find a value on a sealed copy of this because I can't find one online, but even a complete copy is worth about at least double what I paid for the sealed version here, so I thought that was an awesome pickup as well. I have a black Nintendo Wii, and this is the Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort bundle. The other black Wii that I already have is the Mario Kart bundle, so this one's new, and I got this one from Goodwill for $29.99. And then I also have a boxed fat PS2, and I picked this one up from a garage sale for $10, and it's just missing the controller, and I believe the paperwork in the baggies, so everything else is in there though. And it's not in the best condition, but it's not in bad shape at all. So for $10, that was a great pickup. And then I have a couple DS systems here. This first one I just got a couple days ago from a pawn shop in Portland. And I don't really go to pawn shops in the Portland area too often. And I've never been to this one. It's called USA Pawn. But I picked this one up for $110. And this is the Yoshi Edition Nintendo 3DS XL. There's the price tag up there. It was $110 complete, and it has everything down to the little plastic cover for the system, little protective cover. So, very awesome to get that. And then I also got the Pikachu Yellow Edition new Nintendo 3DS XL, and this one is still brand new. Never been opened. It's not sealed, but it's definitely new because I bought this from the Nintendo store in New York City, and this one was, I believe, $199.99, so $200 for that. Everything else that I have to show you guys from here on is going to be games, so let's start with the Nintendo Switch stuff. The first one here is very cool, has a very, very cool story. So this is a opened and complete used copy of 1-2 Switch, and this is a game that I did not want to buy at full retail pricing because honestly it probably should be a pack-in game. And this one here I actually found in a bin at the Goodwill outlet and got this, paid for it by weight, and this ended up costing me 25 cents, which is just insane. Goodwill does get newer games like this, but most of the time they will either price them high and put them in their glass case, or they'll pull them and sell them online. They have their Shop Goodwill site, then they also sell on eBay and Amazon. So something like this is something that they probably would have pulled normally, but it looks like it might have slipped through the cracks and an employee missed it. And then I also picked up Cave Story. I kind of want to play this one, but I don't want to open this copy. I know it comes with like some cards or something, so I'm probably going to keep this one sealed, and if I really get the urge to play, I'll buy another one. I have the Lego City Undercover, which comes in the big box with the Prison Island Helicopter mini build, little set of Legos. This is a Toys R Us exclusive from what I understand. And the other one here is the coolest one, and this is a Disgaea 5 Complete limited edition. Comes in the big box here with like a soundtrack and a bunch of stuff. Very cool bundle. I have not opened it, and I probably will not. I actually pre-ordered this from NES America's website, and from what I understand, they all sold out, and now I think they're going for a lot more. I believe this one was $89.99 for the limited edition here, but I'm pretty sure they're going for a lot more than that now on eBay. But very cool bundle to have. And then I picked up 2 copies of the Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia limited edition here. And I have this one which is opened, and this is the one that I did an unboxing video of that was posted forever ago. So that one's opened, and then this one here I'm keeping sealed. For PS1, all of these came from either the Goodwill or the Goodwill outlet, so they were either $2 each or $1 each. So we have snowboarding, we have Tomb Raider Chronicles, Activision Classic Games, and this is from a regular Goodwill for $1.99. Also for $2 is Shadow Master, and then this one was $4 from a Goodwill, but this is Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. And then I also picked up bottom of the 9th, and this is the PS1 long box version here. And it is fully complete with the styrofoam and everything. I don't remember where this one came from, but I'm pretty sure it was from a Goodwill. So very cool on all those. And then onto the PS2, we have the Sims 2, Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects, NASCAR Heat 2002, Lord of the Ring, The Fellowship of the Ring, NHL 2K7, and then I have a sealed copy of IHRA Drag Racing Sportsman Edition. This came from a Goodwill for $5, and it looks like a sealed copy on eBay is like 40 or 50. And then I also picked up a sealed copy of Big Mother Truckers 2, also from a Goodwill, for about the same price. And I don't remember what these ones are going for, but it has this big Fred Meyer security sticker, which won't come off. And then also from Goodwill, a sealed copy of Rock Band. This one has a pretty decent rip in the seal right here, and a couple other small holes throughout. Even with the rips, I'm not too worried about it. There's a complete Black Label copy of Def Jam Fight for New York. So, very happy to get that one knocked off the list, and to get it through a Craigslist deal for only $1 was very, very cool. And then onto original Wii and then Wii U. So the first one here, I got when I was in New York from a video game store. I believe it was called J&L Games or L&J Games or something like that. And it was right near Times Square. And honestly, their prices were really, really high on like 99% of their items in there. But I was able to find a couple things that I thought were pretty good prices. I picked up this one Wii game here, and then I believe 2 N64 games, which I'll show you guys towards the end of the video. I've never seen another one of these at all. If anyone has one, let me know. I'd like to know. If you can find one online somewhere for sale, let me know as well. But this is the Mario Kart Wii refurbished product, and this comes in the big box with a black wheel. So down here, it says color black. That's the color of the steering wheel that's in there, and it's got the refurbished thing right here printed on it. And so this is not the original box. You can see there's no hang tab, and it's got refurbished right there and right there. And this is actually like a brand new box for the refurbished version, and it's actually still factory sealed. So I thought that was very cool. This is only $60, which would be high for just a sealed copy of Mario Kart with the wheel. But because it is this refurbished product variant, and it only came through Nintendo's web store, I thought that was pretty cool to find. And if anyone else has one, please let me know. And then a couple other games here. This one was actually under the seat in my car, and I actually got this on the trip to Seattle with Kevin a while ago, many, many months ago, but I lost it in the car and forgot about it. That is Arcade Shooting Gallery, and it comes in the little cardboard sleeve here, so it was a pack-in title, but this is just the little game by itself, which I believe that was $1 at some pawn shop. Then I got Active Life Explorer, and then I picked up Hasbro Family Game Night 3, and then I picked up Speed, and No More Heroes, and then a sealed copy of Calvin Tucker's Redneck Farm Animals Racing Tournament. I have The Voice, I Want You. This is just a complete copy of the game. I already have the big box bundle that comes with the microphone, but I didn't have this, just the game by itself, so I picked that up for the Wii U collection. I also got the Darksiders War Mastered Edition, and this is the one that came out recently, and I pre-ordered this one, so I got the sealed copy here. Also, a sealed copy of Just Dance 2017 Gold Edition. I believe I got this from a Walmart on clearance for like 25 or 15 or 25, something like that. And then I picked up a copy of Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. This is a factory sealed copy. I also got the Nintendo Selects version in a trade that I did over a Facebook group. And the Nintendo Selects version of this is much harder to find than the regular version, which doesn't really make sense. It's usually the other way around, but this one is actually more expensive than that one. And then I also got a sealed copy of the Nintendo Selects version, so I now have an opened and a sealed copy of both the regular version and the Nintendo Selects. This next one here is a it's a stupid game, and it shouldn't be worth as much as it is, but that is the Crude's Prehistoric Party for the Wii U. This one I found at a game store in California, at a GameStop, and had them ship it to one of my local GameStops, and I went to pick it up there. So I paid $45 for this one, but it goes for like $60 to $70 for a complete copy on eBay. So it sucks to have to pay that much for this crappy game, but I'm glad to have it and not have to worry about getting it in the future. And the last Wii U game here is actually pretty rare, which is another kind of crappy game, but it's a sealed copy of Funky Barn. I already have this game complete, but I didn't have a sealed one, and I picked up a couple sealed copies of Mario and Sonic at the Rio games, which is pretty hard to find, but I found a couple when I was on tour with Jungle Rot. We stopped at a Walmart somewhere, some random small town, and I found 2 sealed copies, and I picked them up, and I traded one of them straight across for this. So that was a great deal. A sealed copy of this one goes for about $100, which is a lot of money for a Wii U game, so I was glad to be able to trade for that one. I picked up actually 3 DSi games here, and you're probably thinking that's the complete set, but not in this case. So I actually picked up a sealed copy of Flaw, or System Flaw, from a Goodwill. It was $7, which is exactly what you can buy a sealed copy for off of eBay. This is the easiest DSi game to find of the 3 that were released in North America. I got that one from Goodwill, and then I came home and I looked up a list of the other games to try and find them, and found out that there were a couple PAL exclusives for the DSi, so I picked up a couple of those. I picked up Hidden Photo, Face Training. So 2 of the PAL exclusive DSi games. I think that might be all of them, so I'm just missing the other 2 North American ones, and then if there's any Japanese ones, I'll probably want to pick those up as well, but very cool to get those. And then I have some 3DS games here. This one is a sealed copy of Cooking Mama 4 Kitchen Magic, and I got this from CD Game Exchange in Portland, Oregon, and I believe this was like $15, but they go for like 30 or 40, so that was the only reason I picked it up. The other 4 here, though, came from a garage sale. The Legend of Korra, I had a sealed copy, now I have an open one as well. Then we have Young Justice, Epic Mickey Power of Illusion, and the good one was Etrian Odyssey Untold the Millennium Girl. As you can see, it was marked at $10, but I think in the end I probably got it for like $2, which is awesome. And then I have some original DS games here, a pretty good stack as well. From a garage sale for $2, I picked up a sealed copy of SpongeBob's Surf and Skate Road Trip. And then I got a copy of Phineas and Ferb from Goodwill for about 25 cents. I believe this one was $2 also at a garage sale. That's a complete copy of Tetris DS, which is a really good price for a complete copy of that game. These next 3 came from that same deal with the 3DS games. So I got Rune Factory, A Fantasy Harvest Moon, and then Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Rings of Fate, and Pokemon Dash. So those ended up being about $2 each or so. Then from a regular Goodwill for $10, which is more than I want to pay, but I picked up a sealed copy of Rise of the Guardians. It goes for a bit more than $10, not much, but a bit more, so I grabbed that. And then for $3.99 from Goodwill, I picked up a sealed copy of Hello Kitty and Friends. And then the last one here came from a cell phone and computer repair shop, which is a very weird place to pick up a video game, but my girlfriend's MacBook, the screen is having some issues, so we went in there to see how much it would be to get the screen replaced, and on the shelf behind the cash register, they had a sealed copy of Pokemon Conquest, and it was marked at $20. And I asked if they had any other games, and they said no, a customer just brought it in and gave it to them for free, which is the weirdest thing ever. But they put it out on the shelf, and I was lucky enough to find it. So for $20, I got this sealed. Here are some original Xbox titles, nothing too special, but we have a sealed copy of Top Spin that I found at Goodwill. We have NFL Blitz 2002, Amped 2, Flat Out, Blazing Angels, Ultimate Spider-Man, and then Red Ninja, End of Horror. The Godfather the Game Limited Edition, which comes with a slipcover here. And then True Crime New York City Collector's Edition. It comes with a slipcover and a steelbook. And then I have some Sega stuff here. I have Dreamcast, 32X, and Sega CD. So for the Dreamcast, I picked up Ready to Rumble Boxing and Soul Calibur, which this one is a condition upgrade for me. And then this one is actually the Sega All-Stars version that has the orange spine. So I know it's like player's choice, but I am going after the orange spine and the white spine of every game. So got that one. And then Army Men Sarge's Heroes, which I didn't have. And then for the 32X, I got a complete, really nice condition copy of Golf Magazine Presents 36 Great Holes, which is just a golf game for the 32X, but I didn't have it. And I got these, I got all 3 of the Dreamcast games plus this, and then a disc and case copy of Slave Zero for the Dreamcast. And I won those all in an auction in a Facebook group, and I believe it was like $13 for all of them or something, so that was a great price. And then the Sega CD game that I have here is actually pretty rare, and it's actually factory sealed. There's a bit of a story with this one, but that is a sealed copy of Shining Force CD. So this was posted on Instagram by a guy, and he said it was in mint condition. I sent him a message and said, is it actually mint? Are there any tiny scratches or nicks or holes in the seal at all? I'm kind of interested, but I want to know. And he replied back and said, no, there are no holes, no tiny nicks or anything. It is mint. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll take it. We agreed on like 185 shipped, which is pretty close to what it's worth, but if it was in mint condition, I was willing to pay that. When I got it, you can probably see it right here. There's a small hole in the seal right there, and I found 4 others throughout. So there's 5 little holes or rips in the seal. And there's a couple on the spine, which I could maybe see him overlooking those, but the one on the front is extremely noticeable. So kind of upsetting about that, but it's not in horrible condition or anything. So I just decided to keep it and not really make a fuss about it, but still kind of annoying, but still very cool to have. There's only 2 Super Nintendo, which aren't too special, so I'll start off there. We have Super Pinball Behind the Mask. I bought this off of eBay, and I used my eBay bucks to get it, so I only had like 5 something in eBay bucks, and this was like $8, so I paid about $3 for it, but it's in really nice condition, so happy with that one. The other one is Pink Goes to Hollywood, which is also in very, very good condition. I got this from CD Game Exchange, and it was like 12 to 15, somewhere around there. I'm going to show you guys the N64 games, and then I'll save the NES for last because I had an incredible garage sale score. So for N64 here first, I did a trade with someone. He used to run a channel here on YouTube called Mr. Sonic 619. I don't know if he still runs that channel, but he hit me up on Facebook, and we made a trade, or I purchased these, or I don't remember exactly what it was. Maybe it was partial trade, partial cash, but I got 2 cartridges here, which are going to complete boxes and manuals that I already had. That is Blast Corps and Paper Mario. Now, I forgot to ask for pictures of these before doing the trade, and unfortunately, obviously the Paper Mario is in pretty bad shape, but the Blast Corps is not in the best condition either. So these are 2 cartridges that I'm going to be looking to upgrade at some point, but at least for now I'm happy to have them so that I can put them in the boxes and actually have complete copies. And then some other games here that I picked up. I have a complete copy of Paperboy, which also came from him. There's a little rip on the top here, but it's not too bad. Other than that, it's in pretty good shape. And then also from him, a complete copy of Castlevania. I had Legacy of Darkness already, but not this one. There's a few creases throughout, and it's kind of pushed in on the front, so I'll be looking to upgrade this one eventually, but for now I'm very glad to have that one. And then the 2 games that I picked up from that game store in Manhattan, I got a complete copy of Buck Bumble, which is a game that I absolutely love. The theme song is amazing, and I had rented this game as a kid, so I have fond memories of it. This one's a little tiny bit sun-faded, but I believe it was $45 complete, which is a pretty good price for this one. It goes for like $60 to $70. And the other one is actually a factory sealed game, and that is Milo's Astrolanes. And it's not perfect. It's not VGA worthy, to me at least. It's a little pushed in on the front. It's got a slight crease or like a warp bend right there. But this was only $39 or $38.99, I believe. And I think a sealed copy when I looked was going for like $70 or $80. And this is a game that I rented as a kid as well, so I have good memories of this one too. So I thought that was cool to get a sealed copy of it. And I don't even think I have a complete copy yet, so I can't play it, but very happy to get that one for a decent price. And the last game here, when I was in Florida on the tour, I went to Cybertron Video Games. If you guys have been following my channel for a very long time, when I lived in Florida, I used to go there all the time. But I went there when we were there for the tour, and I picked up one game. That is a complete copy of Chameleon Twist, which is a game that I've been on the lookout for, so I was very glad to find it in person, not have to pay online prices, because it goes for like $60 to $80, and I paid $39.99, I believe. And it didn't have a manual, but I had a manual here at home, which I got from somewhere, I don't remember where, but so I paid $40 for the cartridge in the box, and I had the manual already, so it is now complete. I'm very glad to have that one. On to the NES stuff. The first two games here I picked up from CD Game Exchange as well. These were about $10 to $12 each. I picked up Silent Service, one of the most common NES games, but this box is in really good shape, so I was glad to get that one. And then the other one is Millipede, which is also in pretty good shape, aside from this sticker here, but for 10 or 12 bucks, I thought that was a cool pickup. I've never owned that game. And then this one came from a garage sale, but not the one where I got the big score. This is a complete copy of Captain Skyhawk, and I paid $6 for this one. The guy that I bought it from knew exactly what he had. He was a reseller, maybe a collector as well, I'm not sure, but I pulled it up on video game price charts, and it said a complete copy was $8, and he said, I'll give it to you for $6. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it's in really good shape, so I didn't mind paying that. When I go to garage sales, I look around first, and I try to find whatever I can. If they have any video game stuff out, I say, hey, I saw you had this video game stuff here. I was wondering if you had anything else, maybe any older Nintendo or Sega stuff, something like that, to see if they have anything maybe in their garage or that they didn't think to bring out or something like that. And most of the time they say no, or oh, that's all we have kind of thing. But sometimes they will say, yes, we do have some stuff, let me go grab it. And then you have a pretty good chance of getting a good deal. So I always make sure to ask. And at this garage sale, it was a kind of a younger guy. Looked like he probably was into video games. And he had some other stuff out there that made me think he probably did have some stuff. He had a big cardboard cutout of like the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine van. He had a big box of He-Man toys and just some other stuff like that. So I asked him, and he gave me a look, kind of like a little smirk, and he like tilted his head up like that, and he said, you probably wouldn't believe it, but I've got a big collection of Nintendo stuff right behind that wall. He's pointing to, you know, his house. And so, but he's like, but I'm not really looking to sell anything. And I was like, oh man, you know, what kind of stuff do you have? Just curious. And he's like, oh, I got all this Super Nintendo and original Nintendo games with their original boxes and everything. And I was just showing as much interest as I could, trying to convince him to sell me some stuff. And I told him, I was like, well, I collect, and that's exactly the kind of stuff that I look for, is stuff in the original box. That's the only thing I collect. And so I was like, do you maybe have even like a single game that you don't play you might be interested in selling? And I finally convinced him to go inside, and he came back out with an absolutely mint complete copy of Dragon Warrior. And he said, this is the only one that I really want to sell. And he also had the Super Mario Brothers napkins, which I showed in a clip at the beginning. And then in the strategy guides, you can't really see it from the spines, but there was a couple. I got 3 Nintendo Power magazines from him, and then like a little cheat guide thing, and a couple like Nintendo product manuals. Some really cool stuff, but he pulled out all that stuff and this, and then I had also picked out like some Wolfenstein PC game that he had out there that was factory sealed, and he said, I'll give you everything for $20. And I was like, okay, cool. For a complete mint copy of Dragon Warrior, that is not a bad price, so I'll take that. And this is like really, really mint. This is probably one of the best conditioned boxes I own now, which is awesome. And so I paid for the stuff, and I was going to leave, and I was like, you know, if it's not too much to ask, could I see your collection? Because I really wanted to see what he had. I was really curious, and I just wanted to check it out. And he's like, yeah, sure, come on in. So I went in. He didn't have a crazy amount of stuff like I was kind of expecting him to by the way he was talking about it, but he was a big He-Man collector. He had a huge shelf of He-Man toys all set up. He had a huge Alien poster on the wall. It was probably 6 feet tall, 4 feet wide. It was really awesome. And then he had an older TV set up in the corner, and he had a plastic tub on the ground, and he had a original NES and a Super Nintendo in their boxes, and then he had a bunch of games in their boxes, kind of just like thrown in there, like not carefully. And he was going through them, kind of just showing me what he had quickly. He was like pulling up the boxes and kind of like dropping them back in, like not being careful with them. And he pulled up this game, and I internally freaked out. I didn't want to show him that I was freaking out, but he pulled this up, and he kind of just like tossed it aside, like he didn't care too much about it. And the guy knew what he had because he told me that he had a complete Donkey Kong Jr. Math which he sold for like $4.50, which is a great price, but that's not the kind of price that someone asks if they don't know what they have. So he knew at least a little bit. And so I just asked him, I was like, well, how much do you want for that game? Because I really, really want that. And he's like, oh, well, I wasn't really planning on selling it, but I mean, that is a game that I don't really play. How much would you offer for it? And I said, I'll give you all the money in my wallet. And at that point, I didn't even know how much I had. I was thinking I had like a couple $100, which probably tells you it's an expensive game, but I didn't know how much I have. And he was like, well, how much do you have? And I pulled out my wallet, I looked inside, I had $71, which is a lot less than I thought. And when I was telling him that I had 71, I was expecting him to be like, oh, no, you can't have it for that. That's a crazy low ball offer. And he was like, you know, I was going to ask for 100 just to be a dick, but you know what? You're a nice guy and it seems like you really want it, so you can have it. And so in the end, I actually only paid $40 for it because there actually is no cartridge. And I was going to give him the 71 originally, and then we figured out that it's missing a couple minor pieces, and he's like, well, you can have it for 60. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I left, and I was driving home, and I was looking at it when I was sitting at a red light, and realized that I didn't have the cartridge. So I drove back to his house, thinking that maybe he forgot to put it in, or we just didn't see it, and we looked for it and couldn't find the cartridge. So he actually gave me back another $20, even though I told him the $60 that I paid for it is very, very fair, and I'm willing to pay that just for the box. But he was like, no, here, just take the 20 back. And I couldn't convince him to not give it to me. So for $40 from a garage sale, I got almost a complete copy of Stack Up for the NES. Very long story. Thank you guys for sticking with me through it, but here's Stack Up. The box is not in perfect shape, but it's not really crushed or anything. It's got like some damage down here and everything, and little rip right there, a few creases and stuff, but nothing too bad. So the hang tab is, comes out when you open it. So no cartridge, unfortunately, but it's got the manual in there. And the other thing that it's actually missing is the plastic insert, which is the biggest deal. And then it's missing the little hands for Rob the Robot. So it's got all of these little pieces, the 5 little things here. And then it's got the 5 little colored things here. I don't even know what these are. The blocks. It's got the 5 colored blocks, the 5 little scoop things for them. So it's missing the cartridge, the plastic insert, and the little removable hands for Rob the Robot. So a complete copy, according to video game price charts, is about $450. And when I bought it, the only one on eBay was like $800, which I think is way too much. But for $40, that was just an incredible deal. And there's no way that I would ever pay anywhere near what this is worth to get it. Because it's not a fun game. It's not the kind of game I want to sit there and play. But I'm very glad to have it in my collection. It's an awesome piece. And the story of getting it at a garage sale and getting it for $40 is just incredible. It was a very exciting day, to say the least. So if anyone has a cartridge for this, or if they have the plastic insert somehow, or the Rob the Robot hands, and they want to trade them or sell them, please let me know. I have a lot of stuff to trade, so if you have one, please let me know. But guys, that's going to be it for this pickup video. I really hope you enjoyed. I know it was a super long video, so thank you to anyone who stuck through and watched the whole thing. I really appreciate it. Your guys' support means everything to me. So, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.